once we add 3 to both sides, guys, what am I going to get on the left? Preston? 9. And on the right? Lawrence? Just x, because the minus 3 and the plus 3 are going to cancel. So this is 9 is less than x. Now, in my notes on 2.1 and 2.2, I did rewrite some of these, so it's easier when we graph them, right? I would write it as x is greater than 9. Notice, think about the little symbol as an alligator, right? The alligator always wants something more. In this case, in the first example, 9 was less than x. X was bigger than 9. X has to be bigger than 9 when you rewrite it. The reason I rewrite it as x is bigger than 9 is because when I have my variable on the left, I can just draw a line in here and it'll tell me which side of the graph to shade, okay? So we're going to draw a number line down below. We're going to draw 0 and positive 9. And am I going to have an open or a closed circle at 9? Marcio? Open. Why? Excellent. And am I shading to the right or to the left? Kristen? If x is bigger than 9, if I picked like 10 for x, is 10 bigger than 9? Yeah. So it has to be part of our shaded region. So we're shading to the right. Okay? If you struggle to figure that out, right? Take a look. Draw a line in between your absolute value sign. See how it's pointing to the right? That's the side you're going to shade. This only works when your variable's on the left side. It would not work over here. So you can't draw a line here because it would tell you to shade to the left, and that wouldn't be right, okay? Only when your variable is on the left side. Questions on the warm-up? Marcio?
Why did you swap it?
I swapped it, flipped the...
know when to swap it. I didn't know.
I only did that if you are confused about which side to shade. So when the variable is on the left, you can just draw that line in there, and it'll tell you where to shade. Do you see that?
Yeah.
See how it kind of looks like it's an arrowhead pointing to the right? That would help me in terms of which side to shade. Okay. Good question. Go ahead, draw a line underneath that warm-up and label this lesson 2.3, solving inequalities using multiplication or division. Solve inequalities. Guess what we're doing today? We're multiplying and dividing, okay? There is one special thing that when we multiply and divide, and we're going to go over that special thing, but for the most part, everything is the same, okay? Our objectives, do not copy these down, are to solve inequalities by multiplying or dividing by positive numbers and by negative numbers. Notice there are two separate objectives, so something about them is different, okay? There are differences when we multiply and divide by positive versus negative numbers. We'll get into that shortly. And then we're also going to do one word problem involving solving real life problems, okay? And I've got a little bear here that says, whenever I see the symbols less than or greater than, I have to stop what I'm reading for a second and try to imagine an alligator eating the number, okay? If that helps you, think of the mouth as an alligator. An alligator always wants to eat more. It's going to eat the side that is bigger, okay? So if your inequality is pointing this way, this side is bigger. If your inequality is pointing this way, this side is bigger, okay? That is how a lot of students think of this concept. How does this apply to me? When am I ever going to use this, Mr. Yurko? Guys, inequalities are way more common than equalities are in the real world. Businesses use them all the time. Whenever you're talking about money, can you spend more than you have? Not necessarily, right? If you do, you would need a credit line, okay? And that's what businesses have to factor in. A lot of the times they set up inequalities for their money so they don't spend more than what they can necessarily pay for. Yes? Yeah, you can go to the bathroom. Make sure that you sign out, okay? All right. Businesses use inequalities to control inventory, plan production lines, produce pricing models, and for shipping, warehousing goods, and materials. Guys, over on the right, again, are some professions that use inequalities day to day, okay? Now for the fun stuff. Okay, guys, this is a red alert. That means you need to copy down what's in red into your notebooks. Put a star next to it. I'm going to pass around a highlighter. Highlight it, underline it. Do whatever you need to make sure that this is the most important part of the lesson. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the sign of your inequality. The reason it's on... Now notice, my genius peeps, it doesn't say when we multiply or divide by any number. It has to be what kind of number? A negative number. If it's a positive number, you do not flip the sign, okay? If it's positive, everything stays the same. We're golden. You don't touch it. It's perfect. If it's negative, that's when things start to shift around, okay? Copy down the title, multiplying or dividing positive numbers, and then A and B. Positive or a negative number? Positive. Am I going to flip my sign? No. The sign stays the same. Do that first every single time. Bring down your sign, your inequality sign, first every single time after you multiply. Okay. Now, someone tell me what's the beauty of math that happens on the left? They cross out. Okay. The 8s cancel and we're just left with x on the left. Is bigger than negative 5 times 8 over 1. Not 40. Kristen? Negative 40. Excellent. Did I isolate x? Yep, x is by itself. Box that in there. Now we have to graph it. Draw a number line. Put 0. Put negative 40. How do I graph it? Diego? Open circle and going to the right. Excellent. Why to the right?
Because x is greater than negative 40.
Very good. If we pick 0, is 0 bigger than negative 40? Yep. Is 2 bigger than negative 40? Yeah. Anything that you pick in the shaded region should work for your inequality, okay? Would 100 be in the shaded region?
Yep.
Yeah.
Would negative 100 be in the shaded region? No. Okay? All right, B. We've got negative 24 is greater than or equal to 3x. Who thinks they know what we should do for B? Storm?
Divide both sides by 3.
Excellente. Divide both sides by 3. Before I do anything else, I need to ask myself, what?
The number that you're dividing both sides by
Is my number that I divided by positive or negative? Positive. It's a 3, right? Even though there's a negative 24 on the left, do we care about it? No, it's what we're dividing by. Since we're dividing by a positive, do we flip our sign or keep it the same? Keep it the same, okay? So this is going to stay with the alligator opening to the left. What's negative 24 divided by 3? Negative 8. Thank you. We need to get those negatives. And the 3's are going to cancel, and we're left with x. Now, for those of you that are having trouble figuring out which side to shade, how can I rewrite this with x on the left?
You just flip it.
Yep, flip the inequality, and then put the negative 8 over here. Guys, these are the same. If you put either of these on your quiz, you'll get them right, okay? They're saying the exact same thing, that negative 8 is greater or equal to x, or x is less than or equal to negative 8. Draw a number line. Put a 0. Put a negative 8. And someone help me graph it. Not Diego. Sophia.
Put a closed circle on A.
Good. Why closed?
Because it's equal to.
Mm-hmm.
And then go to the left.
To the left. Do we agree? I do too. We're going to the left. Very good. Sophia, how'd you know to go to the left?
Well, if you look at the bottom one, x
Very good. If you draw a little line in there, it's telling you to shade to the izquierda, to the left. Okay? Cool beans.
Cool.
All right, guys, are we pretty okay with positives? Let's try some negatives. This is where it gets a little dicey. Do I need to wait on this slide for anyone? Are we good to go? Okay. Here we go, peeps. Multiplying or dividing by a negative number. A and B. Copy down the title, copy down A, copy down B. Okay? Once we multiply both sides by -3, those cancel. Before I do anything else, what do I ask myself, Diego? Is the number I multiplied or divided by a negative? It sure is. It's -3. So, what do I do next? Javansky? Flip the sign. Before you do anything, flip that sign. So now my alligator is opening the other way. It went from a less than sign to a greater than sign. 2 times -3 is -6. And my right side is y. Okay? So -6 is bigger than y, or greater than y. You can also write this as y less than -6. Let's graph it. Plot 0. What else do I plot? -6. Open or closed dot. Why? Very good. Y cannot be -6. Do we understand that? If it doesn't have the equal sign down below the greater than or less than sign, it's not equal to. So your solution does not include -6. Okay? And which side do we shade? To the right or to the left?
Left.
Ooh.
Left.
What do you think, Carlos? To the left, to the left. It's to the left, people. Just like Beyonce would say. Everything you own is in the shaded region to the left. All right. Because of 2 reasons. You can either think about it. Y has to be less than -6. All the things less than -6 lie to the left, right? Or just draw the line in the expression where y is on the left. Isn't it pointing to the left? Beautiful. Okay? Let's try B. In B, we've got -7y is less than or equal to -35. Any ideas on how to solve this one? Sophia?
Flip the sign.
Nope, not yet.
Oh.
Gabby?
Can you divide this side by side?
Yes. Now, Gabby would have added an extra step here. What should she add to her division? Preston? A negative. Once we add that negative, watch how it helps our problem, okay? Once we divide by -7, before I do anything, ask myself what? Did I divide by a negative? I sure did. What happens? Flip the sign. Put it facing the other way. -7s cancel. All I have is what on the left? Y. And what do I got on the right? Is it positive or negative? Why? When you are dividing or multiplying, 2 negatives make a positive. Cool beans? Cool beans. Now let's graph it. Here's 0. Here's 5. Open or close at 5. How many people think closed? Raise your hands. How many people think open? Good. It's closed. Now, are we shading to the right or to the left? To the right. Because y has to be greater than 5. Are we okay? All right, your turn. I want you guys to try 6 and 9 only. Copy down 6, copy down 9, and try those out. Okay, when you're finished, all right, I want you to take a look at what I have on the board. I made a mistake in number 6, and I also made a mistake in number 9. I want you to look and see if you notice where my mistake is in each of them, okay? Can anyone tell me where's the error in number 6? Carlos?
The circle is
What should it be?
closed
Excellent. Why does it need to be closed?
because it's equal
Good. That was the mistake in number 6. Everything else is right. So check your answer to number 6. See if you got it right. What is my mistake in number 9? Hannah?
The arrow is pointing the wrong direction.
Very good. Where should my arrow be pointing?
The left.
Very good. My arrow, in number 6, number 9 needs to be pointing in the other direction. Cool beans? All right, guys, all we have left is that word problem, and then we're donezo, okay? So, on your page, I need you to copy down modeling with mathematics and the entire word problem in front of you. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Yeah, Preston? When Alejandro comes back, Federico's gonna go, and then you can go. Marcio? After Preston? Yep, you can go after Preston. If you put your phone away. Thanks. All right, you earn $9.50 per hour at your summer job. Write and solve an inequality that represents the number of hours you need to work to buy a digital camera that costs $247. $247 That's an expensive camera. $9.50, and we're going to multiply it by G. And the wording, why do we multiply? Because it says per hour. Okay? So if we make $9.50 per hour and we work G hours, if we multiply those two together, that's going to tell us how much we make over the summer, right? That number has to be bigger than or less than 247. That number, 250 times G, has to be bigger than or less than 247. What do you guys think? Hannah?
Greater than or equal to?
Excellent. First of all, Hannah, why is it greater than?
Because if it's less than, you won't meet your amount.
Exactly. If you have less than 247, you're not going to be able to afford the camera, right? But if you have exactly 247, so equal to, can you afford the camera?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's why we include the equal sign here, okay? Now, we just have to solve this. Any ideas? German? Booyah. Divide by 9.50. Divide by 9.50. And we're going to get G by itself is greater than or equal to 247 divided by 950. How many people can do that in their head? Probably no one unless you're like Albert Einstein. So what we're going to do is some awesome long division. Super exciting. Okay, so 247 divided by 9.5. Now, I have a little trick for these long divisions whenever you have decimals. Get rid of them, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to erase. So we're going to remove this decimal, and we're going to say that we moved it over to the right. If you do it on the outside, listen up, people, you've got to do it on the inside too. So we're going to add a 0 here. How many people have seen division like this before? Okay, if you haven't, this is how I do it, okay? If you want to take the 9.5 and divide it into 247, be my guest. It's not an easy task, okay? All right, We're going to take 95 now and divide it into 2,470. I take it number by number. Can 95 go into 2? No. Can 95 go into 24? No. Can 95 go into 247? Yes. How many times without going over? Kristen? 2. 95 times 2. What's 2 times 5? 10. Bring up the 1. 2 times 9? What? 2 times 9 is 18. Add 1, yes, is 19. 190. So we're going to subtract 190 from 247. 7 minus 0? 7. 4 minus 9. We need to borrow, right? So borrow from the 2. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 14. 14 minus 9? 5. 5, right? Okay. We bring down the 0. Preston, what's up? Who is next? Oh, yeah, Preston, you were next. Yep. How many times can 95 go into 570? Jordan? 6. If you didn't get that, just try a number, okay? And then adjust from there. Let's do 95 times 6 over here. 5 times 6? 30. Bring up the 3. 6 times 9? 54. Add 7? 57. So we have 570. Does that match? Sure does. We get a remainder of 0. So it goes in 26 times evenly. But I should put a units on here. What units is G? Dollars. It's going to take us $26. It's hours, people. We have to work for 26 hours to make enough money to buy that camera. Could we work 29 hours? Could we work 26 hours? Could we work 25 hours? No. Anything less than 26 is no bueno, okay? So 26 hours minimum.